ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So thank you all for coming today. So today's verse under discussion, actually 3 verses, which are chapter 1, texts 37 through 39. We will chant 37 and 38 are together, and then 39 is separate. Yadi api ete na pashyanti lobha upahata chetasah kula kshaya kritam दोषं मित्र द्रोहे च पातकं कथं न ज्ञेयम् अस्माभिः पापात् अस्मात् निवर्तितुं कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिः जनार्दन. यद्यप्येते न पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम् कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान्निवर्तितुम् कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन. You chant one verse and then the other person, next person can chant the second verse. Yadyapyena pashyanti lobhopahat chetasah kulakshaya kritam dosham mitradrohe cha patakam. कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान्निवर्तितुम् कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन. यद्यप्येते न पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम्. कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान्निवर्तितुम् कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन. Mataji. यद्यप्येते न पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम्. कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान्निवर्तितुम् कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन. यद्यप्येते न पश्यन्ति चेतसः लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम्. कथं न ज्ञेयम् अस्माभिः पापादस्मान्निवर्तितुम् कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन. यदि, if, api, even, ete, they, na, do not, pashyanti, see, lobha, by greed, upahata, overpowered, chetasah, their hearts, kulakshaya, in killing the family, kritam, done, dosham, fault, mitradrohe, in quarreling with friends, cha, also, patakam, sinful reactions, katham, why, na, should not, jneyam, be known, asmabhi, by us, papat, from sins, asmat, these, nivartitum, to seize, kulakshaya, in the destruction of a dynasty, kritam, done, dosham, crime, prapashyadbhi, by those who can see, Janardana, O Krishna. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? Please repeat. O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? Purport: a Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse to battle or gamble when he is so invited by some rival party. Under such an obligation, Arjuna could not refuse to fight because he had been challenged by the party of Duryodhana. In this connection, Arjuna considered that the other party might be blind to the effects of such a challenge. Arjuna, however, could see the evil consequences and could not accept the challenge. Obligation is actually binding when the effect is good, but when the effect is otherwise, then no one can be bound. Considering all these pros and cons, Arjuna decided not to fight. Move on to text 39. Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharmaah sanatanaah dharme nashte kulam kritsnam adharmo bhibhavatyuta. Translation: with the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. Purport: in the system of the Varnashram institution, there are many principles of religious traditions to help members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. The elder members are responsible for such purifying processes in the family, beginning from birth to death. But on the death of the elder members, such family traditions of purification may stop, and the remaining younger family members may develop irreligious habits and thereby lose their chance for spiritual salvation. Therefore, for no purpose should the elder members of the family be slain. So Arjuna is presenting another argument. His reasons for not fighting on moral grounds is very much established by the Vedic scriptures. It's not that Arjuna was presenting simply saying that, oh, I don't want to fight, whimsically. He is presenting mature arguments to prove why he is not wanting to fight. It's not simply, according to Vedic civilization, this thing that, no, I don't want, I want, this is not accepted. That is called whimsical action. Whimsical action means no consultation. Simply what I want, because I think so, I feel so, I desire so. Therefore I will do. Or I don't want to do it this way, so I don't want to do. Just like in any country, I have to act according to the rules of the or laws of the state. I cannot act independently. I cannot say, I want to kill someone, I will just kill because I want, just because I can. No. You may be able to do it, but if you do it, then the consequences are there. So similarly, the Shastra, the Bhagavad Gita here says in the 16th chapter, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Akarya Vyavasthitau Gyatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartum Iharhasi. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. You see that? So one must act according to the regulations of scriptures. Shastra. Shastra means shasan. It is meant for shasan, or to control. To control our activities. Because whimsical means there is no control. I will do whatever I want. There is no limit. Just like on the roads, there is traffic light, traffic signal system. Actually, everyone can just drive through. Even if it's red light, it is not that the car must stop. The driver can choose not to stop. No, I don't believe in this traffic light system. Or I don't care for the traffic light system. Who is going to be in danger? I. And I will put others also in danger with that. So these regulations are there, although there is capacity in the driver and the car to move, they voluntarily obey these rules for their own good. So similarly, Shastra is like that. They not only are traffic signal, what not to do, what to do, but why we should do it also is explained. The aim of life is to go back to Krishna. That is the aim of human life. So our activities should be molded in such a way that we always think of Krishna. Because only when we think of Krishna constantly, then we can think of Krishna at the time of death, and then we can go back to Him. So all our activities, all the rules and regulations of the Shastras are meant to lead us to remember Krishna always. And to remember Krishna, it is not that mechanically we can do so. It is a spiritual relationship between the soul and the Supreme Soul. So if I understand I am a soul and my relationship is with the Supreme Soul Krishna, then I will have to develop that relationship. And while doing so, I cannot have excessive attachment for materialistic life. It doesn't work together. How can I be detached from the bodily conception of life and be attached at the same time? It is not possible. If I am showing off that I am a very religious person and I have still excessive attachment for materialistic life, so that's a misnomer. So actually, a little advanced person in spiritual life, he can see by symptoms. One may claim that, I'm very religious, I'm this, I'm such a devotee, this, that. But one can see in the behavior how much he is especially attached to materialistic life, how much is attached to Krishna. He cannot be attached to materialistic life and attached to Krishna also, same level of attachment for both. No, it doesn't work. If I understand I am not the body and I am a servant of Krishna, how can I engage in something, an understanding that I am this body? It doesn't work like that. So, as we advance in our spiritual life, automatically our bodily conception will go down. Just like, if I am getting healthy from fever, automatically my temperature will go down. I cannot be having high temperature and no fever at the same time. It's like that. These materialistic desires, the materialistic cravings, they are just high temperature. This is a diseased condition of life. We should understand that. And as we are becoming more healthy in spiritual life, the temperature will decrease. The materialistic life is compared by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in the Samsara Davanala song in the morning that we sing for Mangalarti, Guruvashtaka. Samsara Davanala Leedha Loka. Forest fire. What kind of temperature? Blazing forest fire. That is the state of our materialistic desires. In Bhagavad Gita also it is said, in the 3rd chapter, Avritam jnanam etena jnanino nitya vairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena analena cha. Nitya vairina. Vairina means enemy. Nitya vairina means eternal enemy. Our eternal enemy is what? What is our eternal enemy? What is talking about here? Kama rupena. Lust. Is it big enough to see? You can see? Thus, the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust. Lust is actually the enemy, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. See, again, temperature. So this materialistic fever of desires to enjoy sense gratification will never be satisfied simply by trying to satisfy those desires. Oh, I want to do this, so I will just do it, so I will become happy. People think like that. I want to do this, so if I do this, I will become happy. But it's like, the fire is, as we said so many times, the fire is always hungry for fuel. Oh, okay, let me supply some fuel so that the fire will be satisfied. Now, once you supply more fuel, the fire will become even bigger and ask for more fuel. It will never be satisfied. The fire will never say, okay, I am satisfied with the fuel, I will not extinguish myself. No, it will never say. It will always keep demanding more and more. There is a very nice prayer. Kamadinam katina katidha palita durnideshas tesham jata mayena karunana trapanopashanti utsrajyaitan atha yadupate sampratam labdha buddhis tvamayatah sharanam abhayam mam niyungshvatmadasye. This is actually, where is it from? Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is actually quoted in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, but it is by, forgot. Anyway, you see how the prayer goes. O my Lord, there is no limit to the unwanted orders of lusty desires. Although I have rendered these desires so much service, they have not shown any mercy to me. I have not been ashamed to serve them, nor have I even desired to give them up. O my Lord, O head of the Yadu dynasty, recently, however, my intelligence has been awakened and now I am giving them up. Due to transcendental intelligence, I now refuse to obey the unwanted orders of these desires and I now come to you to surrender myself at your fearless lotus feet. Kindly engage me in your personal service and save me. This is the honest prayer of a devotee who has taken shelter of Krishna. He is saying, Kamadinam katina katidha palita dunya. How long have I not served this Kamadinam, Kama Adi, etc. Adi means etc. Starting with Kama. What does the etc. means? Can you fill in the blanks? Yes. Kama Adi means Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. These are the 6 dirty things in the heart. The sum total of materialism means these 6 things. These 6 dirty things that are in our heart, the impurities in our heart. Starting with Kama. Kama is lust. And lust, because it cannot be satisfied, after some time it will become Krodha, anger, out of frustration. Then Lobha. Lobha means greed. I want excessive desire to achieve something. To achieve with desire. Lobha, Moha. In this way I am illusioned. The more I chase sense gratification, the more I am illusioned by the bodily concept of life. I think I am the body. I think that to satisfy my bodily senses are the aim of life, or my bodily mind. In this way, I just become Moha, illusion. And Matsarya, envy. And I envy those people who have it and I don't have. Have the things that I don't have or I crave to have. Envy. And in this way, madness. We end up in madness. Why people become crazy? Why people go into depression? Why? Because of these things. Depression is a sign of madness. Because this chain they have followed. They have given in to lust. It's appealing, very appealing at the beginning, but it leads ultimately to the madness. So, that is the path of lust. You see? So therefore, in the 16th chapter, यह शास्त्र विधि उत्सृज्य वर्तते कामकारता न स सिद्धिम अवाप्नोति न सुखम न पराम गतिम. You see, शास्त्र विधिम. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims, kamakarata. Kama means again lust, impelled by his own lust, attains neither perfection, nor happiness, nor the supreme destination. Nothing he is going to achieve. The only achievement he will have is trouble. Trouble is one thing he will gain, nothing else. So therefore, for our own good, just like if I choose to beat the traffic light, I am putting myself at risk. Especially youngsters, they like to do this kind of things. Oh, they say adventure. Rules are meant to be broken. They come up with all slogans. Oh, rules are meant to be broken. And they say, oh, red light. Okay, I speed even faster. And then boast about it to the friends. I was at 80 kilometers per hour and the red light came and I sped to 120 and I escaped. But by such foolish action, they may think it is very adventurous, but what it is, it's causing oneself in danger. So similarly, the adventure sports. What is adventure sport? They put their life at risk. There was once a news of a wingsuit diver. You know wingsuit? You know what's a wingsuit? Yes. It's not exactly fly, but they glide with the suit, jump off the airplane and they can guide themselves. It's like almost like you feel like a bird. But you're actually descending very fast, but then you can guide yourself. And they go very close to the landscape, the mountainous landscape. They go very close to the edges and I don't know what kind of speed they are going at. Mind-boggling speeds. And they go very close and that's more thrilling. And they put these GoPro cameras and a guy will be following him and the whole thing they will be shooting. And this champion wingsuit diver, he went and crashed into the forest and died. And they do this and at the last when they're almost reaching the ground, not almost, they know at a certain height they'll release the parachute. But this parachute didn't open. And he crashed into the forest and finished. And so many incidences happened. And one fellow, he was flying and then he was doing this close range stuff. And his toe just hit the rock at one point. That's it. He fell. He opened his parachute while falling after that. But then the whole leg, although it just was a toe that touched, the whole leg was broken. 2 pieces, multiple pieces. And then he fell down and still he got multiple injuries after falling. And he got well, again he went back to wingsuit jumping. Look at these people. Simply, the human life is so valuable, they're throwing it away. And actually a person who does not take to spiritual life is just like that. Very, very dangerous life he's leading. People are, engaging in meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, intoxication as if it's nothing. But actually they are doing things as dangerous as that. They do not know what the next life holds for them. They don't think about the future. They don't think about the value of this life. How much worth is this life? They don't even care to stop to think. So such whimsical actions, just because I want to do, and this, or sometimes they say, oh, we have to do because we are, like for example, say India, Pakistan, always at fight. Oh, we have to fight, because we are India and they are Pakistan. Or Pakistan will think, oh, we are Pakistan, they are India, we have to fight them, they are our enemies. These are whimsical action, based on again the same thing. The body, my body has taken birth in a particular country, so I have to feel myself part of this country and then fight against another. Or this family and that family, or this race and that race, or this species and that species. So in this way we are always in the bodily conception of life and creating troubles only for everybody. So Arjuna is not such a person. He is analyzing everything from scriptural point of view. He is saying, very important points he is saying actually here. Let's go back. He used the words kulakshayam kritam dosham. Kulakshaya kritam dosham. First verse in the third line. And again kulakshaya kritam dosham. He is talking about, because all the men have their families, no? Whoever came to the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they have their families. And a man is supposed to be the head of the family. And he is supposed to lead the rest of the family in the righteous path back to Godhead, into Krishna consciousness. So, if these men are killed, how their families will be leading the path, the righteous path. And also the elders were there, like Bhishma Dev, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, all these elders were there. And if they are killed in the family, then the younger generation, you see how the younger generation, always they try to escape from the family tradition as much as possible. If somebody's family following some family tradition, they say, oh, this is old fashioned, oldies. We are modern people, It's not only in the 21st century, 20th century this is happening. And that time also it was there. It is a natural tendency. So therefore, Krishna has engineered the whole system very perfectly. Krishna has engineered everything perfectly. Not only is there the Shastra, the scriptures themselves, the Vedic scriptures to regulate our action, there is the next level of protection, which is the Kshatriyas. They enforce these laws. The Kshatriyas rule on the principles of scripture, ideally, under the guidance of the Brahmanas, and in this way, they ensure that the public follow all these rules. Because if there are rules and there is no enforcement, it is no use. The rules are only as good as the enforcement is. I can make a rule, from today, this is the rule, don't do this and do this. But if there is nobody to police that, nobody will even follow it. Why there is the law book, the law, the constitution and the police? Because when we break the law, they are the ones who are going to enforce the law upon us. So the enforcement must be there. So the Brahmanas, they teach the law of the Shastras, but then there will be somebody to enforce them, to make sure all this is practically done, and that's the Kshatriya's duty. And that is again another. This is all to protect the citizens from sinful activity, whimsical activity. Then there is Vaishyas, who protect the cows and cows and agriculture, and they actually supply the ghee, the cow products, everything to the Brahmanas to do the sacrifices. The Kshatriyas protect the Brahmanas and the Vaishyas protect the cows. Brahmanas and cows. Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Krishna is the well-wisher of cows and Brahmanas. Why? He is not well-wisher of others. No, Jagadhitaya. He is well-wisher of the whole universe. But that welfare of the universe will not take place if there is no welfare for the cows and Brahmanas. That shloka answers the question. Because Jagadhitaya can only happen if there is Hitaya for cows and Brahmanas. Brahmanical culture, where is it? Where are the Brahmanas? And where are they supported? Some caste Brahmins are there who just proclaim themselves to be Brahmins and they do nothing to save the society, nothing to save even themselves. And then there is cow slaughter on the other side. So, how is going to, how the society's, welfare will be taken care of? And then there is next level of protection is the family traditions. Family traditions, we're not talking about superstitions. We're talking about family traditions based on the Vedic culture. For example, I'll tell you, in this Hare Krishna movement, especially when youngsters they take up this movement and they decide to join, all the family members they come and become, they start to advise, oh, you should not do this, you're just a young chap, you do not know what is life, we are elders, you should take our guidance, Krishna also, sometimes they quote this kind of verses. Oh, your family tradition you are destroying. First of all, what is family tradition? Where does it have to lead to? What is the aim of family tradition? Yes, huh? All these traditions or the scriptural regulations or the enforcement by the Kshatriyas, all this is meant for only one thing. Smartavya satatam Vishnur Vismartavyo na jatu chit. Padma Puran says this. Smartavya satatam Vishnur Vismartavyo na jatu chit. Sarva vidhi nishedha syur etayoreva kinkara. Krishna is the origin of Lord Vishnu. He should always be remembered and never forgotten at any time. All the rules and prohibitions mentioned in the Shastras should be the servants of these two principles. So that we have so many things in the Shastras and in the family traditions. We have to do this, we have to not do this, don't do this, do this and don't do this. Hundreds and thousands of do's and similar don't do's. What is the whole purpose of these rules? Why we should follow? This one thing. One do and one don't. Always remember Krishna, never forget Him. This is the one do and one don't, which is the sum total of all these other do's and don'ts. So if these do's and don'ts don't get us to that point of always remembering Krishna and not forgetting Him, then they're not serving the real purpose. It has to come to the point of always remembering Krishna and not forgetting Him. If it does not come to that, what is the use of following this? This is called niyamagraha. Following the rules and regulations too much that we forget the aim. You get this point? Following, oh, you should do like this, you should. Why? Because it is done like that. Why? Because my grandfather did so, my grandmother did so, our family tradition. Why they are doing it? I don't know. Huh? No, they don't even know. They don't even know why they're doing it. There's a nice story actually. I forgot the details of the story. This is how actually superstitions build up. You know how they start? Because there is some practical reason. I think there was this incident where, I might get this wrong, but it was like the cat was bound up. It started off like this, that the housewife, she started binding up the cat every day in the morning. So, and then she starts cooking and everything, whole day goes, and after everything is finished, and the cat was released. And then she grew old, and then the next generation of family, they also used to bind a cat in the morning. We're thinking with this family tradition, no, everybody must do, because they were, elders all did, my grandmother, great grandmother did. She bound a cat every day in the morning, so I also must bind a cat. And later on, after some generation, like 2, 3, there was no cat. Somewhere some cat was brought and then tied up there and bound the cat in the morning every time. But actually, the reason why the first time she bound the cat was because if the cat was not bound, and if she start cooking, the cat will come inside the kitchen and take the things and take the milk and start eating, cause a mess in the kitchen. So to do that, she started binding the cat. But they thought, oh, we must bind a cat every day in the morning. If there is no cat, bring a cat and bind. This is called superstition. They lose the reason why they should be done. Following the rule, oh, we must follow. Because why? Oh, elders did so. My grandmother did so, I also must do. Otherwise, we are breaking the family tradition. It's stupidity, they don't understand the practical reason why this was done. This is how superstitions start. So, family tradition is, that's why we should not lose track of the aim of these family traditions. As if this verse says, all these do's and don'ts must lead you to Krishna consciousness. But if you say, oh, you do this, but why you should do this? But if that rule, so-called, will hinder the progress of Krishna consciousness, then that rule should be given up for the higher rule of Krishna consciousness. For example, a sannyasi should not use even slippers. He should walk barefoot. And no chance, don't even think of using a vehicle to travel. Just walk on foot and barefoot. That's a sannyasi's rule. And moreover, he should never cross the ocean. Now, that is the rule. Yes, it is there in the Vedic literature. But if we just believe that rule, oh, sannyasis should never cross, I should never cross. If Prabhupada followed that rule, Krishna consciousness would not have been in Singapore, and we would not be sitting here discussing Bhagavad Gita. So, he broke the rule. He crossed the ocean. So we must understand why the rule was made in the first place. Why? Because outside India is called Punya Bhumi. It's a very pious land. You easily can become religious there. Of course, the way India is going now, it is going terribly wayward. But especially with the Bollywood, horrible culture is being propagated. Worse than Hollywood. Just like animals they're behaving. So that kind of culture in India is just going down the drain now. But otherwise, even now, India is full of holy places and so many sadhus. Of course, rascals are also there in the garb of sadhus, that's another thing. But real sadhus are there, where you can take advantage of. So you can actually easily become Krishna conscious. And Ram, Krishna, all the avatars, they stepped foot on that land. How pious is that land? Himalayas, the greatest mountains are there in that land. All the great sages, they go there to do their spiritual practices. Now, there is immense, and all the holy rivers. Like Prabhupada was saying when he was young, as a boy, he was growing up, because he was under the British rule, of India. So they used to have in their literature some poems of English authors, British authors. And there was some poems glorifying the river Thames of London. Is it in London? Somewhere in UK, I think London, maybe. London. So this river Thames was being glorified. Oh, then Prabhupada thought it must be a nice river. Actually, Prabhupada went there, while he was preaching, when he went to London, when he was 70 plus. He saw a murky river, no good for nothing river that was. I mean, what was so... Then Prabhupada saw the river Thames. This is the river they are glorifying. And Prabhupada said, so many nice rivers are there in India. Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Narmada, Sindhu, Kaveri. There is no match to those rivers. Pure water. And coming from pristine Himalayan region. Ganga, Yamuna. Now also we can go and see Gangotri, Yamunotri, you can go. So, and these holy rivers, Ganga, what is the history of Ganga? She is directly water from the toe of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vamanadev. Vamanadev, when he expanded his foot and pierced the hole in the universe, the water from the causal ocean dripped into the universe. And it was so great, the force was so great that it would have destroyed the whole universe. Just like in a ship, if you have a slight crack only, if it is in the middle of the sea, how the water will rush in through that, how the water will gush in, like nobody's business. Like a water jet, nothing can compare. So forceful. So just imagine the whole universe, there are millions of such universes, are like a tight shell, and they are floating in the causal ocean, where Mahavishnu is lying down, and from the pores of his body, universes are coming out. These descriptions are all there. So there's these universes, floating, and then you just like a ship, you make one hole, how the water will gush in. And that's just this ocean, Pacific or Atlantic. What to speak of the causal ocean? Let's imagine the force, and actually Lord Shiva had to take the force on his head. They put, Lord Shiva's picture with water coming out, Ganga. It's not that water is coming out from his head, Not that he has some fountain here, that is not. He was holding the water from the force of the Ganga. Only he could bear it on his head. Otherwise the force will just like, you water jet. If the water is too powerful, actually the water jet, if you point at a person, it can tear off the skin, totally penetrate. So powerful. So the whole planetary system, the planets would have been dissolved in the water. You take a mound of earth, take some mud and make it into a ball and fire the water jet into that. What will happen is just dissolve, the whole thing will just break apart. Like that, all the planets would have been broken to pieces with the force of the water. Lord Shiva would hold it on his head, and from his head again it was coming down, and that's when the force became slower. And now the Ganga is there for us to take bath in. So, such great rivers, Yamuna, where Krishna performed his personal pastimes, they are all there in India, Punya Bhumi. And all these facilities are there for our purification. So if a sannyasi crosses the ocean, he enters the land of the Mlechas. Mlechas means those who are below Shudras even. That means the culture is absolutely low. No God consciousness, dirty habits, and almost like animals. Just sense gratification. So if a sannyasi goes there, he might fall away from his culture, and he may become a debauchee or anything, sinful person. He may associate with meat eaters and drunkards or whatever, and he may become like them. So in order not to be influenced by them, to stay protected, a sannyasi is advised not to cross the ocean. This is the reason. We should always understand the reason why these rules are there. Don't just follow them for the sake of following. Like the binding up of the cat. If there's no cat, don't bring a cat and then bind them, because it has to be bound. Foolishness. So the Prabhupada actually transgressed that rule. He flew over the ocean. But he was not influenced by those drunkards there and then became a drunkard and drug addict. He changed them into Krishna conscious devotees. This is the power of pure devotee. So when you can do that, then why we should... So a lower rule of not crossing the ocean, that is a rule, yes, definitely, but he broke that to serve a higher rule. Always remember Krishna and never forget him. He wanted them to remember Krishna also. Not only he remember Krishna, they should also remember Krishna. It's so powerful. Krishna Shakti vina nahitar pravartan. Without Krishna's Shakti, Krishna's empowerment, nobody can preach Krishna consciousness to others. It's not that, I'm a big Pandit, I will totally preach Krishna consciousness everywhere. It doesn't work like that. We have to be empowered by Krishna. How will we become empowered? Guru's mercy. How we will get Guru's mercy? Yes. Following his instruction. Guru says, preach Krishna consciousness. Distribute my books, Prabhupada said. Open temples, train devotees, print books, distribute prasadam. So we have to do this. Not that we should be satisfied. Prabhupada said 16 rounds, 4 principles, I will do that. That is good. We don't say not good. I am not saying not good. But it should translate to something. See this. Naivodvije paraduratya vaitaranyastvadvirya gayana mahamritamagna chitta soche tato vimukhache sa indriyartha maya sukhaya bharamudvahato vimudhan. O best of the great personalities, this is Prahlad Maharaj speaking to Narasimhadev. I am not at all afraid of material existence, for wherever I stay I am fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. My concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies and countries. I am simply concerned with love for them. You see, this feeling should develop. Next verse, he again says more. This is more, you see. Prayena deva munaya svavimukti kama maunam charanti vijanena parartha nishtha naitan vihaya kripanan vimumuksha eko nanyam tvadasya sharanam brahmato nupashye. 5-year-old boy, is speaking so heavy philosophy. My dear Lord Narasimhadev, I see that there are many saintly persons indeed, but they are interested only in their own deliverance. Not caring for the big cities and towns, they go to the Himalayas or the forest to meditate with vows of silence, Maunavrata. They are not interested in delivering others. As for me, however, I do not wish to be liberated alone, leaving aside all these poor fools and rascals. I know that without Krishna consciousness, without taking shelter of your lotus feet, one cannot be happy. Therefore, I wish to bring them back to shelter at your lotus feet. This is a more advanced person in spiritual life. The person who goes to the Himalayas and meditates, yes, he is advanced. But Prahlad Maharaj has little regard for them. Because he says they are selfishly motivated. They want to attain moksha, but they are selfish. They don't want to help others to attain moksha also. I will go to the cave and I will meditate and I will get moksha. Let the whole world rot to hell. What is that? Where is the compassion? But a devotee of Krishna, he will see always, how can I help others also to come back? I don't want to be liberated alone, Prahlad Maharaj is saying. Why? How can I see them suffering like that and I be happy? If a real person, a real sane person, Vaishnava is called what? Paradukha Dukhi. You know this? Vaishnava is who? Paradukha Dukhi. That means Paradukha. Others' Dukha is his Dukha. He becomes unhappy at seeing others unhappy. Not that others unhappy is good. Yes. He doesn't do that. Or he puts others into trouble. No. He doesn't do that. So if others are unhappy, he becomes unhappy. What does that mean? Somebody is poor. Oh, let me give him some food. Let me give him money. That is not help. Help means he is poor because how he is poor? He is a child of Krishna, right? Krishna says, I am the father of everyone. Then if somebody has a very rich father, how can he be so poor that he does not have even food to eat? Why some people are so poor that they don't even have food to eat? Huh? If Krishna says, I am the father of everyone, then why they don't have food to eat? Krishna is the father of, he is so rich, he owns everything. The problem is, we don't want to go to our father. We commit sinful activities and we want to fend for ourselves. We don't have the faith that Krishna provides. These people, whoever, poverty is a result of past sinful activity. I have done something wrong because of which I am put in a poverty, poor condition. To come out of that, one must become devotee of Krishna. Again, obedient to Krishna. You have become disobedient, so therefore you are suffering. Become obedient and your suffering will be gone. Therefore, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, there is no scarcity in this world except for Krishna consciousness. It is not that the food is scarcity or overpopulation or this and all rubbish. All rubbish. Srila Prabhupada said, 10 times of the present population, if the world's population goes to even 70 billion people, there is enough land on this world to feed every single person. What is 70 billion compared to? You take the number of elephants, the snakes, insects, reptiles, all these put together. What is their numbers? How many ants are there? How many living entities are there? Trillions, and there is no count. All of them are maintained, but 7 billion people are a big problem. Why? Why? We are bigger than elephants. No. How much food we can eat only? Then why we 70 billion cannot be maintained? 7 billion. We cannot be maintained properly? Because we are the problem. We act in such a way that the Krishna, he restricts supply. It's like if a father gives pocket money to the child. If the child goes and misuses, buys cigarette, and father will say, no more pocket money, shut up. Nothing doing. So he will restrict because you are misusing. Similarly, if we misuse facilities given by Krishna, we should understand that everything first of all is given by Krishna. Nothing we have created. Our very body, our mind, our intelligence, our food, our water, our air, everything is given by Krishna. Don't become proud of anything that we have. Because nothing we have created. Why am I so proud? Did I achieve this with my own efforts? Did this body come by my own efforts? Of course, yes, in one way, because I have acted in a certain way in my previous life, because of which the karmic reaction I got this. But who designed the law of karma? That is Krishna. And who designed this body? That is Krishna. Mother and father, they do not know. They just unite in sexual relationship, but then they cannot decide anything about the child. They do not know if he is mentally handicapped or sound, or physically handicapped or sound, or they are not creating not that the mother, is meditating. Oh, I am now creating the head of the child, I am creating the arm of the child, I am creating the blood vessels. No, the mother doesn't know anything. He is simply bearing the weight only in the womb for 9 months. And that's all. Mother doesn't know anything. Now, who is preparing the body then? Automatic. What is automatic? When you see a car being manufactured with all the robots all making this, that, and car being assembled, is that automatic? Some engineer had created the machine to make the car. So Krishna has created the machine of the womb, and he is designing the whole thing. Karmana daivanetrena. So therefore, don't be proud. We should never be proud of what we have. Oh, I am this family. Who put you in that family? Who put you? Krishna put. So all these facilities are given by Krishna. We should always know that. And he can take them back also at any time. One moment he can take everything away. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shribhir. These are the results of pious activities. Janma, nice birth. Janma, Aishwarya, nice riches. To be very opulent, very rich. That is also a result of past pious karma. To have beautiful bodily features. That is also past karmic, good result of pious work. And then finally, intelligence. One who is intelligent is also a result of past pious work. But you see, all these four can be taken away in an instant. One moment we can die and everything gone. Or I may be very rich, something may happen and I lose everything. Bodily beauty. Sometimes unfortunate stories in India, where some rascals, they put some acid, on the face of the girl, and then the whole girl's life is finished. One moment, finished. Or some accident, finished. entirely. Beautiful body, finished. So, in fact, there was one before and after picture of an accident a woman went through. You can't even believe that this was the same lady. She underwent multiple, I don't know how many hundreds of surgeries before she got back. But you see the before and after, it was a massive traumatic accident. The car was totally, you can't even find the car, but somehow she survived. But she survived, but how badly she was affected. She lost all remembrance and she looks totally different from what she was. I mean, you can't even guess. Beauty, 1 second, finish. And intelligence. What if one nerve in the head gets cut? I go, what do you say? Paralyzed, or I go into a coma. And recently, one of our devotees, some family member, he was working, and one day he just, went into coma and passed away. How? You see, this is very, very unfortunate, see. So, any time we should know that these things that we have got, we should not be proud of them. They will go away at any moment, or death can come at any moment, we will just be taken away. So, we should always consider the impermanent situation and use these things that we have. They are there, okay, we have some maybe facilities now, but don't throw it away and become too proud of them, and don't be puffed up with vanity. Use those. They are actually Krishna's gifts to use it in His service. They are meant for His service. They are meant for His pleasure. Not that it is for my sense gratification. So, people who in this material world, they are always into this selfishness. And even it comes to that same selfishness will extend even to the spiritual realm. Oh, I want to be liberated alone. It's also selfishness. Yeah. So, we should not be proud. Oh, I got the path to liberation, I am saved. Oh, these people, they don't know, still they are rotting in the material world. That means I have not understood anything about self-realization. I have no compassion for others. So, the preachers, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, where we should have ashram? In the most busiest part of the world. Usually, a spiritual place, ashram means, somewhere which is like, distant place where there is no disturbance from civilization, peaceful, like. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was not very much interested in opening temples in some peaceful places. Who is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? Who is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? Prabhupada's guru, his guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He said, we should open temples in the busiest part of the world. Our business is in the busiest part of the world. If there is any big city, there is congestion of people, open temple there. Don't look for peaceful place and open temple. What is the use? Who will come there? Who will become Krishna conscious? Open in the middle of the city, so that people who are moving about, at least let them come. This was his idea. This is actually, people may think, what is this? Temple means it should be peaceful place, something, like they say, oh, there's some good vibes. I need some good vibes. Good vibes will come with Krishna consciousness. If you want vibes, means vibration, right? You chant Hare Krishna, that is good vibe. What vibes you want? What some vague meditation. Sit in some forest and what is it? Spacing out. Like a stone. Chant Hare Krishna, that is best vibe. It's a Maha Mantra. Why it is called Maha Mantra? It's the greatest vibration, great chant for deliverance. That Maha Mantra you can chant anywhere, even in hell. So our Krishna consciousness does not depend on this particular situation. I am so busy in Singapore. If I was only in some distant place in the Himalayas or some kind of peaceful place, I would have executed Krishna consciousness well. No. You will get distracted by all this beautiful scenery and you get distracted. Bharat Maharaj went to the forest. What did he do? What did he do? Meditating on Vishnu, and deer came. You know the story of Bharat Maharaj? You know? You know the story of Bharat Maharaj? You know who is Bharat Maharaj? Not that Bharat. Our India is known as Bharatvarsh because of this Bharat Maharaj. He is Rishabdev's son. Rishabdev. Bharat Maharaj, yes, he was the ancestor of Pandavas. Bharata, Mahabharat. Our India is still known as Bharatvarsh because of that Bharat Maharaj. We should, at least Indians should know who is Bharat Maharaj. What is this? What kind of Indian is it? Bharat Maharaj, he was such a great king that the whole planet was under his rule. Actually, the demigods, the devatas, refer to this planet as Bharatvarsh. We call India as Bharatvarsh, but actually this whole planet was Bharatvarsh. And before King Bharat, this was known as Ilavratavarsh, because there was another king, a great king, by the name Ilavrata. So it was known as Ilavratavarsh. After King Bharat only, this whole world was known as Bharatvarsh. Until even 5,000 years back, after the Pandavas left, the grandson King Parikshit was there, even then this whole world was called Bharatvarsh. Only later on it became shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. Just like even in the last 100 years we see, India was Burma, Pakistan and Nepal, Bhutan, all this was India, but became separated. Now even at India also the POK is there. It's almost half gone like that. Now they are trying to regain it. So that like that land was, became separate countries. Even in the last 100 years we can see. So actually this 5,000 years ago the whole planet was Bharatvarsh. And that Bharatvarsh was named after this King Bharat Maharaj. And you know what he did? At very young age, he was so spiritually elevated, he was the master emperor of the whole planet, but he left. His wife was very beautiful and his children were very obedient. His kingdom was undisputed, nobody could even conquer him. There was no reason for him to leave such a post. Today we see the recent elections in the neighboring country, a person 92 years old, he just got sworn in as a prime minister. 92 years old, he still cannot give up his political attachment to the country, so strong. Mahatma Gandhi still could not give up until death. He was with the country. Prabhupada wrote him a letter. Srila Prabhupada actually wrote Mahatma Gandhi. I would say Gandhi. Mahatma is a title reserved for a person like Prabhupada, not anybody else. Prabhupada wrote a letter to him saying that, sir, you fought for independence. You got it. India is now independent from British rule. Now give up your political thing and please surrender to Krishna. And you always hold a Bhagavad Gita in your hand. So please preach the message of that book and ask the whole world. You have so much power, the whole India will listen to you. Now take that Bhagavad Gita and preach to everybody about Krishna and everybody will take up and the whole world will become like Vaikuntha. Please you take up, you do this. Otherwise, your own countrymen will kill you. And 1 month later he was killed, shot dead by his own countrymen. Never replied. Gandhi never replied to that letter of Prabhupada. Prabhupada wrote a long letter asking him, because he told, I was part of your movement. Actually Prabhupada, when he was young, when he was a youth, in his teenage, he was following the Gandhian movement of non-cooperation with the British. He actually studied in the Calcutta in the university, but he did not take the degree because that was part of the Gandhian movement. They did not accept the British degrees, they did not accept the British cloth and everything they indigenous or their own things, Indian. So he was also part of that until he met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his guru. In 1922, when he met him, then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur asked him, my dear boy, you know English, so why don't you preach this message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam in the Western English-speaking world? Then Prabhupada said, that time his name was Abhay Charan De. He said, Maharaj, but you say that we have to spread this message, but now India is under British rule. We are subjugated by the British. Who will listen to us? We are slaves of the British. We should first get independence. And then, yes, we should preach. And people will respect India. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur defeated his argument. No, this Krishna consciousness movement does not depend on any material condition. It does not depend on the so-called dependence or independence. It is a farce. What independence is that? You are always dependent. Nobody is independent in this world. If you don't accept British government, you have to accept Indian government. But it's not that you are independent of any government. So we are always dependent either on Maya or on Krishna. So better to be dependent on Krishna. So this Krishna conscious movement, apratihata, there is no material condition that can check it. You must preach. Doesn't matter. Then Prabhupada actually accepted the argument. Because Krishna is so powerful. It is not that because of some independence issue, Krishna consciousness cannot be spread. No, Krishna consciousness is so powerful. It does not depend on anything else. In fact, it will purify everything. India, first of all, would not have become dependent on the British if Indians were aware of the depth of their own culture. They would have stood their ground. Of course, India still survived the 4 centuries of British rule, almost 4 centuries. But still, almost gone, you see. The education system is totally British. The whole training, the entire thing is just Western. The dress, Indians themselves, ask them to wear a dhoti, they become, what will people think of me? I look like an idiot. Indians, whose dress this was, no, everybody is, women, sari how? No, sari is too old culture. Modern, as short as it can be. This is modern culture. Where is it coming from? Mlecha land, so land of the Mlechas. Whether like animals, how they move about? Naked, right? They also want to be naked. The more you are close to nakedness, that much you are advanced. That is what Bollywood is promoting. What they are promoting? So this kind of culture, hedonistic culture, that is overtaking India now. So we are ashamed of our own culture now. We call our own scriptures as mythology, Hindu mythology, or they say Hindu mythology. We are idiots. All the great sages, acharyas, they are all idiots, is it? To write some mythology. And this Marvel comics, they are big stories and big. They are myth. These characters are all myth. They are just some nonsense, a figment of their imagination. No, that is very good, that is very nice story. But Mahabharata, Ramayana, mythology. You see that? Own Indians, Hindus. Will any Muslim say that his Quran is myth? Or will any Christian say that the Bible is myth? But our Hindus will say, our Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata is all myth, mythology. This is the state India has come to. Because of who? Because they accepted themselves to be under the British indoctrination. If they had known their culture very well, they would have transformed the Britishers into Vedic culture. Like what Prabhupada did. Prabhupada went to the epicenter of Western culture, New York, opened the Krishna Conscious Center there. And from there he started the whole world movement. 12 years, 108 temples all over the world. One man. And if the whole of India, if they were that strong in their conviction, in their knowledge, they would have converted the British who came to India into Krishna conscious devotees and sent them back to open temples all over the world. But no. Oh, Britishers, whatever they say is correct. Why? Because they did not have anything. Although they were having some systems in place, but it was all becoming superficial, like that cat, binding of the cat. They bound the cat, they do not know why they were binding the cat, And the Britishers proved to them they were foolish, why you are binding the cat? What is the use of binding that cat? No, we should bind the cat. So Britishers said, see, superstition. Because why? There is no thinking involved. They are simply following some tradition without knowledge. Arjuna was not talking about that kind of family tradition. He is talking about family traditions which lead to Krishna consciousness, which lead to the betterment of human society. Meaningful. Family traditions should lead us to Krishna consciousness. Not that when somebody is joining as a devotee, no, you are breaking our family tradition. We are worshippers of this, we are joining Krishna worship. Or you should work, all our grandfather, great-grandfather, everybody worked, you also should work, this is our family tradition. But the truth is, they broke the tradition somewhere. Because this was not the culture before. They broke it and they created a new culture. And now we are breaking it and going back to the original one, now they are saying you are breaking the tradition. Oh, you are breaking the family tradition. No, we are bringing back the family tradition. This was the real tradition, we forgot. For the last 500, 600 years, at least, if not more. We are bringing back the tradition. So, Arjuna's argument is very correct. But then, this is one thing we have to note. Although he is quoting so many Vedic, regulations and rules, his attachment, Krishna, you see, although he quoted so many, how did Krishna prove him wrong? What did Krishna do? Because Arjuna is posing arguments that are almost undefeatable. I mean, they are so nice considerations. Arjuna is putting so much thought into the whole thing. Family traditions will be lost. Friends and family, why, let them live and let live. Last week we discussed live and let live policy. These are all very moral, good things, But, you see, later on he will say even more things. Next week we will see how the women, if they become polluted. Because if the men are dead, the women will be unprotected by any man. And then, women are easily prone to degradation. They will easily degrade themselves. This is the nature, this is psychology, And they will have illicit relations. And unwanted children will come out. And in this way, the whole population becomes hellish. So all these things, actually he will bring all these things. So after putting so many strong arguments, how did Krishna go and convince Arjuna that no, you must fight? Because the point was that, although he was quoting so many things, his focal point was the bodily concept. He was calculating everything on that bodily concept. Yes, there are religious systems meant for people in the bodily concept, but the whole purpose of those regulations are to facilitate them to come out of it. But if all these rules and regulations implicate us more in that bodily concept of life, of thinking about friends, relatives, family members, he was only calculating on that point. His calculation was not on the spiritual perspective that Krishna has arranged this war and he has the best welfare for all living beings. And if he has arranged this war, this must be the best thing that can happen. Krishna was personally in front of him, ready to drive his chariot for him, like this picture. So, when all this is there, he should have understood that if Krishna wants something, that is always going to be good. Krishna can never do anything bad or wrong. It may appear so, like for Arjuna, it was appearing that this was all like, what is happening? I am going to fight with my own cousins, and uncles and grandfathers and teachers, and what is this? This is nonsense, this is worse than hell. He was thinking like this. But Krishna was there in that battlefield. He was personally overseeing the battle. So that means what? That Krishna is actually doing this whole thing. That means his interest is there. That means this battle is for the good of humanity. So he should have understood that. Why did not? So Krishna actually explained to him that you are only calculating on the body. All these things you are quoting but your affection is only for the body. That's the first thing Krishna addressed, if you will see in the second chapter. First thing Krishna addressed was that. You are not the body. In fact, he said, before he said that, he said, you are talking like a big Pandit, but you're actually a fool. Because Pandit, they don't lament on the bodily platform, but you are lamenting. So you're actually a fool. You're posing like a Pandit, quoting this one, quoting that, quoting this, citing this scripture, citing that scripture. So many things you're quoting, but your focus is on the body. You're not seeing that if Duryodhana continues, then the whole population will be put to irreligion. This is what I came for or what? Krishna came for what? Dharma samsthapanarthaya. And at the end of the Krishna Lila, Duryodhana had become king and Krishna left the planet. What is the use? This is the mission of Krishna, to establish rascals as kings and leave this planet and let the whole world go to ruin. So the whole plan of Krishna, he did not understand that. So therefore Krishna had to say all these things. Oh, the whole Bhagavad Gita is for convincing Arjuna that you just think of satisfying me, Krishna is saying. Automatically the world's welfare will be there. Because Krishna has the welfare of the world. And if our cause is just to please him, he will take it. Don't try to become a big, savior of the world. People, sometimes want to, like Stephen Hawking. He was the physicist. He was also thinking he was a savior of the world. He was giving ideas. No, we should find some we have to find civilization, or what is that? What do you say? We have to occupy some other planet. This planet is too congested now. Yeah, we should go to Alpha Centauri, which is like 4 light years away. The most impractical, the most idiotic suggestion ever. And then that is revered by people. Oh, such a visionary, such a this, such a that. No brains at all. Prabhupada says 10 times of the population can be easily fed, and he is now only 7 billion. Prabhupada says 70 billion also no problem. Easily can be fed. Not with difficulty, easily. And our friend is asking us to go to Alpha Centauri. So they have no brains at all. They think they are going to be the saviors of the world with this big vision. But we should not try to be the big hero. Krishna is already the hero. We should serve him. He has the welfare of the world. The whole world does not have welfare because we have disobeyed him. So make everybody obey him, and the world's welfare will be there. This is our process. So our Krishna consciousness is the best welfare activity for the whole world. Therefore, we have to be very enthusiastic in preaching this movement, taking this up seriously and preaching it to others. Unless we take it up seriously, we cannot preach. Prabhu, you said we have to be compassionate to other living beings. So, never mind, I am not Krishna conscious, I will let others be Krishna conscious. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Janma sarthak kori, koro paropakar. First, Janma sarthak kori, in Bengali. He said what? First, perfect your life. If I don't know swimming, I can be a lifeguard, bodyguard, what is it called? At the beach, at the lifeguard. How can I be lifeguard if I don't know myself swimming? What I will save others? What I will preach? If I don't know the philosophy, if I don't know I am not practicing, if I ask somebody to stop smoking and I am smoking, what is the use of my instruction? You know the story? Mother and son. The mother and son, the son, small boy, he was drinking tea. Mother wanted to stop him from drinking tea. She was saying, don't drink, but he was, hiding and drinking and all that. Then, mother decided, no, I think this boy won't listen like this. I will bring him to somebody like maybe sadhu. And when a sadhu says, don't drink, then he will listen. Because mother, children are very familiar with the mother. Mother will say something, they will say, they won't follow. Children are always like that. So she brought him. She came to know that, in the hill, in the top of the hill, there is one sadhu sitting. So let me go. She went up. She went up and met the sadhu. So she asked the sadhu, my dear sadhu, please tell this boy, he is drinking tea, ask him not to drink. So sadhu thought for a while. He told her, okay, you come back after 1 week, I will tell him. So she went down, okay. She was thinking, why you cannot tell just now. Anyway, she went down. 1 week later she came up. She took the boy. So sadhu said, my dear boy, you should not drink tea anymore. It's not good for you. And the boy said, alright, I'll never drink again. Then the mother asked the boy to just go somewhere. She asked the sadhu, why did you not tell this last week? Why have to climb this hill again and come to you just for this? You could have told the same thing last week, right? Sadhu said, I was also drinking that time. So how can I say? I myself was drinking tea. So first of all, I have to stop. Then only I can preach this to others. Otherwise, what I will preach? What is the use of my preaching? So, Acharya means one who teaches by example. So, we have to become Krishna conscious. If we ask other people to chant Hare Krishna, I am not chanting, what they will be inspired? So that's why Janma Sarthak Kori, we have to follow. And then not be selfish. Share this with others. Actually, when one becomes a devotee, automatically he will be compassionate. Automatically, it is a good quality will develop automatically in his heart. Once you become devotee, you will always think, oh, these people are suffering, they don't know Krishna is actually their real well-wisher. So you automatically want to help them. But if I am so-called devotee and I don't have this inclination, thinking that, oh, if I tell them about Krishna, maybe they will not be my friend anymore, they will not talk to me, then I have not understood Krishna consciousness yet. What is the use of friendship if that friendship cannot... that's why it is said, don't be a relative, don't be a mother, father, all this. Don't be a friend of anyone if you cannot make him Krishna conscious. Actually, you are not his friend if you are not making him Krishna conscious. You are letting him rot to hell. Oh, he is going to hell, how I can, let him go to, how I can disturb him, let him go to hell. No, he is peacefully going. Yes? Hmm. 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 So what religion is he following? So you ask him, how can you speak like this? Where you are getting your supplies from? Your air you are breathing, who gave you? I am asking you to say thank you to that God who gave you everything. How can you say that this is wrong? If I take something from you, if I say, let me borrow your handphone or your mobile phone, then after I use it, I should say at least thank you to you, right? So if I don't say it, I just use it, okay, just throw it in your hand, or just use it and just throw it, or use it, just don't give it to you, keep it with me. Is that proper behavior? So if I am taking everything from God, and I don't believe in Him, then what am I? I am a thief. How can he say, when you are preaching to him about Krishna, and he said, how can you speak like this to me? You ask him, why I cannot speak like this to you? Who gave you your intelligence? Who gave you your body? Who gave you everything? Who are you to, after taking everything, say that no, don't talk to me about God. I don't believe. Then you explain, sir, how you got your body, how you were born, how you were put in this position, why did you take birth in this family? Explain. And how, okay, then don't take anything from God. If you don't believe, right, then don't breathe. He said, you create your own air. You know, O2 is oxygen and CO2 is carbon dioxide. Create your own oxygen first. Otherwise, rascal, believe in God, better believe in God. Otherwise, you have to believe at the time of death. You say you don't believe? Then when death comes, you say you don't believe death? Death will take away everything from you, right? You don't believe in death? Krishna says, Mrityu sarvaharashchaham. I am death. I will take away everything from you. At that time, you have to believe. Yeah, what to speak? Forcing. This is called forcing. You are not forced now. When the bladder is full, you are not forced to go to the toilet. Where you are not forced? When you are hungry, you are not forced to eat. When your bowel is full, you are not forced to go to the toilet. What rubbish you are speaking? And when there is fever, you are not forced to become sick. Everywhere we are forced. You think you can do anything in India? He's in India? No, that colleague. India. You are in India, you can flout the rules of the law and just murder people around and do whatever you want. You can do. You are forced by the law. Everywhere you are forced. It is only what force you accept on you. If I follow the rules of this country here in Singapore, I will be able to move around in society and do what I want. And if I choose not to follow, then I will be handled by another department of the government, which is called the criminal department. I am put in the prison. Now I am handled by the civil department of the country. I will be handled by the criminal department. That's all. I will be still handled by the government, but in a more stringent, more unpalatable way. So don't think you can get away with saying that I don't believe in God. You're rubbish. If you say you are Hindu, you better start first of all reading Bhagavad Gita. What Hindu you are? If you don't know what is Bhagavad Gita, how you can say like this? You tell him that. So we have to be strong in our. They will say everything, but we have to also counter. We have enough information. That's why Indians have become the worst people to preach to. Prabhupada became fed up with Indians. For 50 years he tried in India to make devotees. Nobody interested. So he went to the West. He saw every Indian following the Westerners. Then Prabhupada thought, since they are following the Westerners, these rascals, I'll make those Westerners devotees and let these Indians follow them and become devotees also. This was Prabhupada's plan. You want to like to follow Westerners? Okay, I'll make them devotees. You follow them then. Then you will become devotees. Otherwise you are not going to become devotees, right? You have no self-esteem at all. Now let me follow. So he went to America and made them devotees and brought back to India. Then India took up. Even actually not then. Only later only, after Prabhupada departed, physical departure, then only actually India took up more seriously. After seeing all the foreign devotees in India. Now this is the problem with Indians. And whenever you see any Prabhupada lecture, if you hear in India, at the end of the class, there will be a question and answer session and an Indian will ask stupid questions, nonsense, simply irritate Prabhupada only. Prabhupada will have to shout. Every Indian lecture at the end, Prabhupada will be shouting at some Indian. This is India. This is India. He had no problem like this in other countries. They all accepted. Indians think they are too smart. They will say, you know what? Yeah, you told them what they know. They will accept anything you say. We are knowledgeable, no? We will question. This is what they think. Indians. Therefore, this half knowledge is dangerous. Knowing something, I am Hindu. What Hindu you are? What do you know about Hinduism? First of all, your religion name is also not Hindu. That also you don't know. Where is the word Hindu shown in the Shastra? Show in the Bhagavad Gita Hindu word. Krishna said, I came to re-establish Hindu religion. Where did he say that? In the Bhagavatam, show me. Any Purana, Ramayana, Mahabharata, take out the word Hindu. Where is the word? The word doesn't exist. And they call themselves Hindus. They have become the worst of the worst. They don't know anything about the religion. The religion name also they don't. What is the religion? Hindu. I am Hindu. Show me, sir, where Hindu is mentioned. Not one instance, not one. All glories to India. Who is their God? Some Shah Rukh Khan or Sachin Tendulkar. This is their God. They came up with that quote also. What is that? If cricket is religion, Sachin is God. This is their quote in India. That is actually practically their religion. Any cricket match, whole India stands still, watching only. So this has become. And movie means, yes, big hit. Our real heroes, Ram, Krishna, Yudhishthira, Arjuna, these are all mythology, or don't even speak about it. This is our position now. So we should not relent. Yes, there will be some people like that. Not that, it's because he said like that, I will not preach anymore. No, we should continue. We should let this guy rot. He will rot. You preach to others. We will go on. Kastam, this is the verse I want to show. Kastam swayam tad abhigno vipaschid avidyayam antare vartamanam drishtva punastam sagrana kubuddhim prayojayet utpatagam yathandham. If someone is ignorant and addicted to the path of samsara, how can one who is actually learned, merciful and advanced in spiritual knowledge engage him in fruitive activity and thus further entangle him in material existence? If a blind man is walking down the wrong path, how can a gentleman allow him to continue on his way to danger? How can he approve this method? No wise or kind man can allow this. So if a blind man is going down and going to meet an accident, you will just allow him? Thinking that, no, if I stop him, he will get angry maybe. Come on, he's going to die. So what if he's angry? Pull him back. He will understand later what I did for him. Never mind. Even if he doesn't understand, never mind. So that should be the devotee's attitude. So when we preach Krishna consciousness, it will disturb some people. Atheists, especially Rakshasas, demons, they don't like. But we will preach. Of course, if they don't like that and if they're becoming antagonistic, don't preach to them, neglect them. But preach to the others. But we'll preach first, and if then they show some antagonistic nature, then we will stop. Okay, you better I don't preach to you. Because the more you preach to him, the more you'll become envious of Krishna, the more he'll talk bad about Krishna. So better you stay there. If I tell you something, you will create more offense. So you better stay there. I will preach to others. But if they argue, then we should argue back. It's not that we should keep silent. We should not be fools. We should know our stuff very well. So, any questions or comments on this topic?
1866, it is written that we should not talk to atheists.
Yes.
1866. 66 or
67. Now, how we will know he is atheist unless we first speak to him? Yeah, we should not preach to the atheist. 9th offense of chanting of holy name also, not to preach to the faithless. But how will we understand he is faithless unless we start speaking to him? In fact, Prabhupada said, a devotee risks committing this offense and still goes on preaching, and for that the Lord loves him. He takes risks and preaches. And of course, when we find out he is not, then of course let him be. Because just forcing it on him, then he'll become more antagonistic. But when it comes to argument, we should not relent. We should prove him wrong. If he does not accept, then let him be. Because he is not intelligent enough to understand. But at least others will know. You see? At least it's not for others to know also. We have to think of pleasing Krishna. So Krishna, when you are talking to him, Krishna is in his heart, Krishna is in your heart also. So Krishna wants to see how much you are wanting to please him. Okay? That guy is an atheist. Now, how are you going to present me? You really love me? Krishna wants to see. It's like Krishna wants to see Arjuna. Arjuna, you really love me? All right. Show that you love me. Don't just say, oh, I love you. No. Show it. Kill your grandfather. Show it in your action. I asked you to kill your grandfather, you kill. Do you love me? Then do what I say. So in the beginning he was hesitant, but in the end he said, Karishya Vachanam Tava, I will do whatever you say. That is love. So, we have to come to this point. So Krishna wants to see of how much we are going to satisfy him. Not how much we want to satisfy the other person. Oh, he is feeling bad. Okay, sir. There is no God only. Whatever you say, sir. What is that? And Krishna will be totally disgusted with you. You preach like that, you go to hell also. That is not preaching. You got preached by him. He convinced you to say that there is no God. Or, yes, okay. What okay? Destroy him. Destroy his argument. What nonsense or rubbish you are talking. Huh? What do you mean? How can you talk to me like this? How can you bloody talk like this? You are saying God is not there. How is this? Where you are getting everything from? How you can say? So, Prabhupada always, you see, how Prabhupada dealt with Indians? Always fighting. Because of this. Because they don't listen at all. So anyway, that's that. Indians are always Indians, There are pious people, there are also some jokers like this. So any other questions or comments? Points to add? It's quite a long class actually. Way beyond the schedule, as always. So, we'll stop here. Granthra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaur Premanande.